Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome back. Welcome back to Black Expat Life Abroad. Depending on where you are, what I need you guys to do is share this with somebody that is looking to move abroad. So, a lot of people have designated 2026 as the year that they decide to move abroad. And a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot more than just picking a location, packing your bag, and deciding what airline you're going to take out of the United States. So I need somebody that is watching this to make certain that if you aren't the person that needs to get this information regarding moving abroad, cool. Share it with somebody that you know has been talking to you about it. Say, hey, I need to leave the United States. This doesn't look safe here in the United States. So please do that. Here you are on Black Expat Life Abroad's channel. And what we do is try to prepare the people that are looking to move abroad. The American that didn't get the education regarding moving abroad and designed to help them get not only the education, the resources, the tips and hacks and tools and tricks that they need, but realistically prepare them for before they leave. A lot of people think it's a what happens once you get on the other side of the TSA, but in reality, it's a lot of what you guys are doing before you go about leaving the United States that actually prepares you for success when you guys are moving abroad. One of the topics that we're going to get in tonight and over the next 19 or so days, today's day 3 of the 21-day relocation reality check. And it is a time to have a reality check. As I mentioned, going into 2026, a lot of people were fed up with what they saw in 2025. Maybe it was a soft thing that you were thinking, oh, maybe I'll put that on my radar. What America looks like from the other side someday. But as the months drew closer to 2026, you guys might have started feeling that itch, that urge a little bit more than you anticipated. And you said, okay, based off of what happened ending the year and technically beginning the year, we're only on the 13th day. Some of you are starting to really put it on your radar. 2026 is your year. Who am I? I'm just a person that's spreading the information that needs to be spread. You guys are in a scenario where there's a lot of people that are on the internet talking about relocation, talking about how to do it and what you need to do. People are both monetizing it and offering free advice, but a lot of the advice is very scattered. What we have done on this platform is create an opportunity for you, the person that is looking to move abroad. Put yourself in a scenario where you can get real advice from people that have actually done it. Now, I'm not telling you how much a bottle is in a club, or how cheap some excursion or something is. This platform isn't for this, and this relocation reality check is not for that either. It's a reality check for you, the person that is saying, I want to be a part of another country, community, and culture. And it's a reality check in saying, what do you do before you leave? Me connecting you to resources with visas and housing, those are easy. Adding you to a WhatsApp group or a Facebook community, that's easy. But with the intent that you go is where your success lies. So this 21-day relocation reality check is designed to give you those things that most other platforms won't talk to you about. Won't talk to you about when it comes to relocation, when it comes to what you need to do about finding a community and being a part of a community. Now, tonight's topic is one of the topics that people always are asking. Is it safe? Is it safe to move abroad? And a lot of you guys are asking this question and not realizing the reality of safety and where it is that you are today. But we're going to talk about some things in regards to safety, what things are safe, what things aren't safe, how to navigate the entire safety, thank you, navigate the entire safety component, because a lot of you are looking at certain things and you think safety is what happens to me on ground. And that's relative and that's true. But when you talk about safety and relocation, there's so many things. I always talk to you guys about what you're going to do before you leave that will provide safety for you. what you're going to do once you get into the place that you're saying that you want to be a part of, that will provide safety for you, how you walk around, how you operate, what you share with the world on the internet, because that's the thing to do now. These things all are multi-layered and faceted when it comes into safety, but we first have to realize where you are isn't safe. Did I say that? I did. And I don't have any qualms with saying that, because America is not safe. That's just a fact. That's not me and my opinion or anything else. Things aren't safe. These things that happen in America, the safety is just so multi layered. You guys don't even know where you are before asking, is another place safe? Now, a lot of people, when considering life in America, it's a kind of a head down scenario. Now, your head down might be a head down working, but it is a head down because you live in a groundhog day. Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, they're all the same thing. Everything just runs together. And you guys have getting this opportunity where it's just ran together, where the things that used to make you itch, the things that used to make you uncomfortable, the things that used to say, we can't do this, we won't do this, and we won't stand for this, they just happen normally. And you think that I'm lying, but I will bring reality to light and truth to this conversation tonight. Because there are so many things that I'm going to point out to you that are just going on in the United States that at one time you said, this can't go on. The one time was enough. Yet it kept going on and nothing changed. And yet you're still in the United States asking questions like, is it safe outside of the United States? I'm old enough to remember the first time Columbine happened. And that was a scenario where that wasn't ever going to happen again. People weren't and shouldn't have to send their kids to school and worry about, is someone with a weapon have any scenario of going in their school and causing havoc, doing things, mass incidents. Those things used to be a pause for cause. I think it was 97 or so. I was a young kid at that age. But one thing I will tell you, I do remember people saying, we're not having this anymore. Yet so many other people do a scenario where they've forgotten that. You know why? Because it kept happening. It kept happening over and over and over again. So now, when I grew up, you just go through your fire incident drills. Well, these days the kids are going through that, as well as mass incident drills, as well as if a fire breaks out. What do you do? Having to train teachers on how to protect children. This is the America that you live in. Remember when that wasn't safe? You guys talk about healthcare. Healthcare was one of the biggest things when it comes to safety, the safety of being able to get sick and affording to get better. That is no longer a safe maneuvering factor in America anymore. Most people have to go to work when they're sick. Most people there was a lot of people during the pandemic that as many people were at home and they were saying everybody stay in, those people were at work because you need the money to be able to afford the health care that you have to pay, just to afford the copay, just to afford the medication. It's not even safe in America to get sick because the functions of getting health care to fix you and get you better aren't designed for, oh, this is what our citizens, and we want to make sure that they, are alive. No, it's like, how much money can we squeeze out of them while they're alive? And then once they're gone, make sure that they're keeping the population up so that there's always somebody else to fill their place. That's not safe. So many people in the United States. I had a girl message me. She's looking to come to Cartagena, and she was talking about, do they have gluten-free bread in Colombia? And you might say, well, yeah, I might need some gluten-free bread. I might need gluten-free options. Where I go. I might have certain allergies. I might have a chicken allergy. I can't really eat chicken, so I've been vegetarian for a while. Not me, but you, the person that is considering all of the food things that you have to navigate. It's not safe for you to eat certain foods in the United States. When did food, the thing that we got to breathe, we got to drink water, we have to eat, how is that no longer a safe thing? Like, the bare necessities aren't even safe in America. You have to navigate food quality. I'm from Philadelphia. I lived in a food desert. After 7 p.m., the only things that were open were Chinese food and pizza stores. Depending on if you had a car, you could get to the grocery store. But Philadelphia is a very weird place. Grocery stores are spread out. There's no major malls inside of Philadelphia, the actual city. They're all out in the county. Depending on what part of the city you go to, that's probably where you're going to go for your mall. So think about these things. We talk about safety. Before you go to look abroad and think somewhere else is not safe because you watch CNN, CNBC, Fox News, MSNBC, whatever it is that you get your news from, and they tell you that all of these places are third world countries. No, I'm not saying that places abroad are the best place ever or nothing happens or everything is Narnia, so it's a fairy tale. I'm not saying that. But I tell you to stop and pause and think about what safety you are enduring now and the things that aren't safe for you. So many people leave with the food scenario in the United States and come abroad and the bread is fine. I don't need to go get gluten free. It's gluten free, or it doesn't have the agents, the ingredients, the preservatives, the chemicals, the things that are in the United States ethos of here's food. It doesn't have that. Go to your Whole Foods. Go to your local expensive market, Sprouts, whatever they're called, wherever you live at, and look and go into the produce section, and you get that cut fruit, and you're going to go look, and you're going to say, well, why does it say Colombia? We flew it all the way from Colombia just to charge you extra for it. Why does it say Panama, Mexico? These places that are on the top expat destinations list are some of the places that the quality food that you're paying a premium to access is sourced from. I tell people living in America is actually paying for a Ferrari car on the outside and the engine is broke. So please, before you go about asking about whether or not I'm safe in Colombia, my friends are safe in Mexico or Panama or South Africa, wherever it is that they're going, start where you are. I tell people all the time, one of the things I'm realizing as I'm, seeing more content come out, as I'm seeing more people take on the relocation head. I'm seeing people that I know for a fact aren't a master at anything hosting master classes. And I tell people this is why we do what we do, because you can choose to consume whatever it is that you would like to. But there's a different message that comes around here that challenges you. It's not like, hey, let's just come to my master class and get all the raw information. That stuff is easy. It's on the website. Go to movetravelabroad.com. It's already there waiting for you. But tonight's conversation and every conversation that we have is designed to give you some pause. A lot of Americans don't realize that they have a lot of arrogance and ignorance with them. So, in a place where America is experiencing, and the American person is experiencing things that the average person around the world doesn't have to wake up and consider regarding safety, the Americans are asking, is it safe in the places that other people have decided, you know what, I'm done with that? And I say, who do you think you are? Have you taken the time to actually sit with where you are, what you're dealing with, to before question about another place and is it safe? Do you think if it was so safe for you from a financial perspective, from a food perspective, from a sending my kids to school perspective, from a police brutality perspective, from any of these isms and things that you are probably like, you know what, I'm done with that? Do you think that you would actually be done with that? So think about that before we even get into what safety looks like on the other side. Because a lot of this conversation, like I said, it's a reality check. It's a reality check that you have been lied to. I don't know how old you are, but you've been lied to for all of those years. If you've been an American person that has only had a little bit of travel to a couple of resorts or a couple of places, hasn't really spent any time in different communities, you know there's a whole world going on WhatsApp and you don't even have it on your phone. The whole world you can get connected to people. You could just text them as if they were right here, FaceTime them, but you don't even know about it. You don't even operate there. So safety is acknowledging that one, you don't know everything about the world. You could go from Philadelphia to Los Angeles and get a little lost. Why would you not think you could go from Philadelphia to Columbia and not get lost? So when navigating safety, one of the biggest things I tell people is this. No matter where you go, you guys are American. I don't know if you're from the suburbs. I don't know if you're from the city. That's neither of my concern. But I'm sure you know how to navigate safety. Even if it's something as small as crossing the street, you know to look left and to look right. If it's a one way, you probably don't even look the other way. You probably just look that way and say, okay, cool, car's not coming, cool to go. But you guys don't realize that you can take a lot of the same things that help you be a safe adult in the United States, non-reckless behavior, non-doing, going out and getting drunk and walking around in places that you don't know, dark streets, common sense stuff. A lot of those safety things can apply on the other side of the TSA. They may just look a little different. So when navigating, if it is it safe abroad, one, consider you're not safe where you are, and two, the best question is to ask is not is it safe. The best question to ask is how do I navigate this? What does safety look like on the ground? Because Americans, even the poorest ones, have American privilege. So, and a lot of them never get to use the privilege until they go to leave. You might have saved up for a vacation for 5 years. You go to a place and you spend, I don't know, $1,200 for 5 days, 4 nights, including your flight. Well, in some places, $1,200 is a whole 3 months worth of salary, whereas you might have saved a bunch. But consider that because when you go and now it's your only trip that you ever taken or your first trip in your life, and you go to a place where your currency automatically makes you a 1% person. Oh, well, people are treating me differently, and now they're waiting on me, or now they're looking to provide me a service. And do I still remain this humble person that I was, because in America, I don't really have a lot to go around. I don't have money to throw. I don't, I'm not in the 1%. I got to get up and go to work every day. And then when I go on the other side of the TSA, now I am the 1%. And now I've got a different attitude. Because a lot of people, when they say, is it safe? They're asking about doing unsafe things. I get it all. Men, women, families. I always tell people, well, dating, I want to come down here and meet a Colombian guy, or I want to come down here and meet a Colombian girl. And I'm like, there's plenty of regular people. But it goes into the do I need Spanish thing. Why would someone that natural language is Spanish look to take someone serious that doesn't speak their language? Now, hola, buenos dias, ¿cómo estás? That's easy stuff. But like, can you be yourself in another language? If you're funny, can you be funny? If you're sarcastic, can you be sarcastic? So most people don't realize that when looking to navigate dating abroad, and is it safe to just go meet somebody that's extremely randomly eager to meet me? No, it's not safe to meet people that aren't scrupulous people, just like it's not safe to meet people on certain platforms or in certain arenas in the United States. It's not safe to do those things. But I know you guys are in a scenario where because you're overworked, overwhelmed, you're tired, you're at your wits' end, you think it's okay. You think it's okay to throw all of your resilience and everything that has gotten you to this point today to figure out, hey, I'm thinking about moving abroad, out the window, because for the first time ever, you actually have the weight of America off your back. So everything your mama taught you, everything your dad taught you, everything your friends taught you, everything your experience taught you goes out of the window, because for the first time at 30 plus years old, you don't have America's weight on you. So a lot of the navigation of safety comes down to, hey, the world is still the world. There are bad people and there are good people everywhere. Let me ask somebody, you know, is it cool or calm to do this? Because a lot of people will say, especially if I know them when they're coming here, I'm like, hey, this isn't a place to wear designer. Like, nobody cares. Some people take offense to that. I've actually had people tell me that, what kind of place is this where I can't wear my Gucci and my Louis Vuitton? If you were part of yesterday's conversation, you realize that I always tell you, who are you before you go to leave? What are the things that actually matter to you? Is it safe for you to wear Gucci, Louis Vuitton, $5,000 watch in Colombia and Mexico and in other places? It might not be. The wages are different. The people that even do have money don't do these things with exorbitantness in the way that you do. And if they do, you probably won't even be in a vicinity of these people because they are that influent. And even with your American dollars, you just won't ever get there. You don't speak the language, don't know the culture. So I always tell people when it comes to navigating safety, after you realize that where you are isn't safe, after you realize that you get into a scenario where it's about how do I navigate danger, you got to start asking the real questions because a lot of people are hung up right now. Y'all president, and it's unfortunately it's mine too. I got a blue passport, but y'all president and our president and whoever else is president gets one to get claimed. You guys are in a scenario where the president is impacting you as a person that is looking to move abroad. And you might say, oh, well, I'll just leave and move away from it. Well, safety perspective, nobody was in Venezuela, but obviously it was not a good time to go to Venezuela right now as an American. People ask me, how's the local people treating Americans right now? What I will tell you is most local people know that we have nothing to do with that man. Don't obviously want anything to do with it unless you're walking around parading him. However, what I will tell you is some things are going to impact you. And I wouldn't necessarily say that it's immediately going to be a safety thing, but it will impact your movement, your travel, how much things cost. We look at exchange rates when moving abroad, and we talked about financial safety. So going to a place with a favorable exchange rate could be important to you. However, the dollar could continuously go down, and that may no longer be as safe of a haven. You take Mexico and South Africa, it's 20 to 1. It's not going to cut but so much further before you get back down to 1. Even in a place like Colombia, where it ranges from 3,500 to 4,000, it's been getting low, real low, and things are positioned in the millions. In a rental apartment might be 2 million pesos, 3 million pesos, 1,500,000. Depends on where you're going, what you're doing, whatever the case is. But I say that is because from a financial safety perspective, you have to consider what America is doing, even if you leave and you still are impacted by it, like a person like myself and the rest of the people that have already left. What about talking about the passport scenario? And does the passport, the United States passport, falling out of the top 10 of the most powerful passports in the world? I didn't do anything to make that do that. But the United States government and the current administration, at least as is right now, considering the policies, the things that they're putting on to people coming in the United States, the things that they're doing to agitate other major political leaders, that is met at immigration. That is met with reciprocity at immigration. Oh, you're going to make it difficult for us? We'll make it difficult for you. If you guys come to Colombia right now as a United States passport holder, there's no dollars that you need to share with them. You just need to have a passport with the right information on it. If you're a Canadian, you do need to pay. Those things can increase. Those things can be denied. And your dream place no longer being able to be accessed because your United States passport, it's got a little dirt on it. Got a little dirt on it. I always talk about the behaviors that Americans may want to bring on the other side of the TSA. And I ask you guys, what it is that is important to you, because flaunting your jewelry, flaunting your wealth, your designer, your bank account on your body, it may not be safe for you to do that. That doesn't mean that the place is safe, not safe. It just is not safe for you to do certain behaviors. So tonight we get into that. Why it's not okay to do certain behaviors in certain places. Now, I can't speak for everywhere. That would be misspeaking on my end. But what I can tell you is the nuances of navigation, and navigating that is where your safety answer lies. I can give you safety information for Medellin, and I can tell you something to do the opposite of what I told you to do in Medellin. And that's all in Colombia. Never mind Playa del Carmen, Puerto Vallarta, the one side of Panama. You can go to Cologne, you can go to Cape Town, you can go to Johannesburg. There are all places all over the world that have different rules. I hate it when I hear people tell me that they've never been to where they're saying, but they have gone elsewhere. So they consider themselves a traveler. Those are the people that end up having bad times. Those are the people that end up not having good relationships with people around the world. It's one thing being a pariah in your local neighborhood, in your city, in the Northeast or the Southeast. Imagine if you're a global pariah. Like I was, I was in Mexico, and was talking to my homie Cece. Cece, if you guys are out in Playa del Carmen, go out. She guys high vibes global, so they do a lot of events for the expat community out there in Playa del Carmen. But I was talking to her, and I know she had been down there for a while, and I mentioned somebody that I knew from Philly, but I hadn't seen them in 10, 12 years. And the funniest thing happened. She said, "Oh yeah, yeah, I know him. He was the community thief." And I said, "Yeah, I haven't seen him in like 10, 12 years, so it's not my man. I just knew he lived down here at some point." And she was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, he did. He was just community thief." And I was just like, "That's outrageous." And it's just, you don't realize that your name in these travel streets are small. So it's not good if you are a scammer or somebody that's a liar or somebody that is looking to take advantage of people. It's not safe for you to come out of the United States. I, it's not safe. It's not safe for you to come out of the United States and be looking to take from people. I told you guys yesterday, when you are in a scenario of going to the immigration, through immigration and going to the agent, you are asking them, when you hand them their passport, can you let me in? You asked to be here. You asked to be here. You are a guest. So it is not safe for you to do certain things. It's not safe for you as an American with this newfound privilege that you have to go into a place that you asked to be in, that opened their doors and welcomed you in, and then get on and tell everybody that it's a terrible place. How do you speak for everybody? That's why I tell everybody, when you talk about these conversations, I kind of leave them open because I don't know you. How many statements can I make with the certified period when I don't know your situation? So, thinking that what I do, that's why I saw my story and I share things that have been collected through the community of people and the things that I've seen work and not work. But I always tell you, you have to do the internal research. You have to ask yourself what questions and what things you are looking to leave. Maybe you are a scammer right now. But you go try some of this scamming stuff that you get away with in Atlanta, and you go do it in Colombia or Mexico or Panama or Thailand or Indonesia to people, and think that the world is going to treat you and give you this grace pass as the United States did. So it's not safe for a lot of people to move abroad. Now, there's a whole majority of us that it is safe. People that are saying, "Hey, you know what? When I moved, I was 35 years old. So I was 35, grown ass man, but I realized I didn't know a lot. I realized that as much education that I had, as much traveling that I had done in different places, the traveling wasn't with all of the intent that I had needed, and I still had so much more to learn. I needed to get deeper with what I was looking for by giving up everything I knew. So I had clearer intent with what I was anticipating and searching for. It wasn't going to be safe for me to, you know, be the guy where nobody ever sees me in the same outfit. That was me, and it was cool in the United States. Those things, one, I couldn't bring it all with me. Two, like, who am I trying to impress? A lot of y'all are wearing this designer and buying Rolexes and wearing buying these cars, not because the car is so impressive to you, and not because you're going to buy this car and have it forever. You're trying to impress someone else. So a lot of the safety questions are come down to, can I do the same impressive things? Or now that I have money because I'm going to somewhere that's cheaper, can I now do the things that I wanted to do, wear all of the jewelry, buy all of the expensive sneakers? Is it safe for me to do that? That's what you guys are asking. You guys are also asking, is it safe for me to bring strangers into my house? No. You was a child somewhere, Chicago, Philadelphia, Atlanta, and your mom said, don't you go nowhere with no strangers. And y'all got all the way to the moment that you got outside of the United States and went to Colombia and Mexico and said, I want to meet strangers and bring them to my house. And then paint said place like it's not safe. It's not safe to do that in Chicago. It's not safe to do that in Atlanta. It's not safe to do that in Philadelphia. It's not safe to do that in New York. Yet I see these influencers going on the internet and making these videos about what's not safe and what is not to do. We got scammers and everything else in the United States. I need us to travel with more intention when looking at what safety means and how to help others navigate it. Being in a scenario, the people that are on the other side in the scenario to say this entire place is a bad place. You know, this place is good, but these people here are bad, and to give bad advice to people, these things aren't safe. They're not safe for the person that is the person that's saying it, because people don't take kindly to those things. You know, it's not safe for the person that is hearing it because they're now blanketing people in the same exact way that many of us have been blanketed. And I look at this and I say, you guys aren't really looking to navigate safety. What you're looking to navigate oftentimes is, how do I start acting like the privileged and it be okay for me to do and no one look to check me or no one look to say anything? Now, when we talk about physical safety, no, I care less about jewelry. In the United States, you might want to wear a watch. The only people that care about jewelry in a place like Colombia is the people that want to take it from you. So don't wear jewelry. It's not that important. It's not a part of my value proposition. Is it safe for me to wear a $5,000 ring or a $5,000 watch? It causes more probability of somebody wanting to take it from me. But it's same things I have to deal with in the United States. Seriously. Like I said, I'm from Philadelphia. I'm from a little bitty, mini, tiny place. But, you know, these things are the exact same nuances that we all have to navigate. Oh, man, if you're riding around downtown in New York City and you got your phone out the window and you're being a tourist and some guy on a bike randomly comes by and snatches it and he just disappears in the traffic, you're owing $1,600 in the wind, in the wind right now. That can happen anywhere. So what happens is, and a lot of people say, "Oh, must not be safe," is because people let their guard down when the weight of America is off them. I told myself, when growing up and leaving Philadelphia for the first time, you know, I seen a lot of things growing up. And I don't know where you're from. I don't. But I always tell people, consider this. If you have gotten to this point and you're not the gullible person, you're not a person that something happened to you all the time, and you know you're always getting robbed, and carry that spirit with you. That's why I say prepare for America's weight to get off you. Now you can only get it when you get it, but prepare because it's a feeling that you don't know, and it's like a release and a weight off of you. But I want you to be able to remember this conversation because that doesn't mean that it's safe to say, "Hey, I no longer have this financial burden. I have no longer have this spiritual burden. I know I can eat whatever I want." So with this weight off me, I'm a brand new person, and I don't mean in a good way. Oh, I'm going to throw and show my things off to everybody because now I got the money to do so. Well, it's not safe to do that. This is a blanket statement to regardless of all of the destinations. Because Americans are babies. If you are 30 some years old and it's your first time moving abroad, you know nothing about how the world works. Zero. Zero. You know zero about how the world works. You know how America works, and you know how America has told you how the world works. But then there's a third option in the third door, which is the truth, the reality, the things that you've gotten accustomed to and used to, mass incidents, police brutality. These things are just normalized things everywhere you go. So asking, is it safe? Is asking, is, you know, are you safe? You know, and more question is, once again, how do I navigate what safety looks like in my chosen destination? One thing I will tell you is community is such an important factor into safety. Now, when you go to look to move abroad, you might be looking to Panama or just a Spanish speaking country. You might be looking to go to move to an Asian country, so they speak a specific Asian language that you may need to get brushed up on. I'm not saying that you need to go fluent, but I would say that it's not safe for you not to learn. I mean, it isn't safe for you not to learn. Yeah, people ask me, well, do I need Spanish in Colombia? I mean, do you need English in America? Do you need English in England? Like, yes, you do. Like, you need Spanish. You need to say hello because people are going to think you're rude if you don't even know how to say hello. I don't know what they said, so I'm just not going to say nothing. Or you're one of those people that think yelling in English is actually a translation tactic. It's not safe for you to do that because so many of you have different ailments. And what if you actually needed help? I realized I knew how to ask for help, but I realized I didn't know all of my body parts. Basic stuff that I learned as a kid. This is my elbow, this is my shoulder, this is my back, this is my spine, this is my head, this is my nose, this is my eyes. I didn't know the words for those. So even if I was to call 911 and barely struggle through a translation and try to tell them what my ailment was, what's your ailment? My elbow. I don't know what you're saying. My elbow. In a situation of duress, these things don't cross your head. You say, I wish I would have been prepared, but now you actually need it. So it is not safe for you to go to a new country with a language that is already established before your special self get there and think that you don't need to learn the language. You on your phone right now. You on your computer right now. You can be saying this somewhere. Once you get done this conversation, I don't recommend Duolingo. Me and them got a beef. Like, not even a beef. It's just not helpful. Like, not helpful for what you need. I don't get endorsed by them, but one of the things I have been utilizing just to see what it does, and I'm like, this is good for somebody that doesn't know anything, is speak. Because a lot of you guys need to be able to pronunciate and use the proper accentos because some people will be like, I don't know what you just said. You're like, well, I said the word. Yeah, but that word could be translated into so many different things. So practicing what it is that you are looking to learn. Hola, buenos días, cómo estás? These things are like hello, good morning, good afternoon, good night. How are you? People say hello to each other. These are things that you should be able to navigate. You know, if you have a particular medical scenario or medical emergency, or you're allergic to shellfish, I'm allergic to peanuts. So I need to just one say I have an allergy. So that was first thing. I might not know a lot of words when I got here, but I need to learn that, and I need to learn what I'm allergic to so I could tell somebody. There was a guy that was in the group chat, and he came down, and long story short, middle of the night, 2 in the morning. I happened to be waking up and looked at my phone. It was 2:30 in the morning on a weekend. I'm dead sleep, and he was in the group chat, and he said, I'm having a medical emergency. I'm allergic to peanuts or something I ate had peanuts in it. And I don't know how to speak any Spanish, so I can't ask anybody for help. Luckily, somebody that was up and out was like, I can help you. Where are you located? Went with them, got them an ambulance, got them to the hospital, sat with them in the hospital. Now, this person, if they had no group chat, one, would have been in a scenario where, I know what a peanut allergy does. You can close your entire airways and be done in minutes. So they could have not been here because of that. All because they didn't learn just enough Spanish, or just a little bit of Spanish, or just a little bit of, Belizean, a little bit more of what do you call that? Thai. Listen, you're saying, well, that's a lie. It's hard. Well, you signed up for the place. I didn't sign up for the place. You signed up for the place. It's hard. It's hard to ask as a grown person where to go to bathroom in a local language. It's hard. That's why I told y'all yesterday, you might not be ready to go. Because it's not safe for you not to know the local language enough to be able to go to bathroom, to be able to say, I could have a medical emergency if you feed me this. Does it have it in there? So, safety. You see how nuanced it is? You guys just sort of mean, is somebody gonna rob me and somebody gonna stick me up? Are they gonna be mad at me because I'm American there? No. And no. If you're not doing the wrong things, then a lot of these things are no. I see people that come down here and they and they love this solo lifestyle, and they love, traveling and enjoying, and not realizing that they just a baby out here in these travel streets. And I see it, and they're gloating. Oh man, everybody told me not to go to Colombia, but now I'm in Colombia, and I'm out, and I met some random people. I'm out at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they took me into the hills, and it was so much fun. And they're making this content. And you're like, man, this person's having a great time. I want to go do that too. And then a couple of weeks, maybe a month goes past. One of two things happen. One, they're back on the internet telling you, I got robbed, and they did it, and I'm on my way home, and I'm leaving. I've seen hundreds of this exact story in so many locations happen. Because that's the first thing everybody do. Somebody says, I got robbed story. Somebody's like, what were they posted before this? I was somewhere. Well, 2 and 2 is 4 all over the world. Math is one of the easiest things to add up all over the world. It's not safe to watch these people this because we live in a content driven lifestyle, and they're selling you this false reality of low probability things. Can you go out in the middle of a place that you're not familiar with and meet random strangers that don't do anything to you? Sure. You can put one bullet in the six shot gun and spin it and pull the trigger and nothing happens. It's the exact same thought process, guys. I need us to go back to almost elementary school with it. Because a lot of people are asking, is it safe for me to do dangerous things in another country? That's the full question. Is it safe there for me to do dangerous things in another country that I don't speak the language or know anyone or know the culture? That's the full question that a lot of people are asking. They're just cutting it short. And that's why I'm like, no, it's not safe for you to do dangerous things in another country. It's not safe for you to take your newfound privilege and your newfound financial freedom and flaunt it and throw it around as if you are the Ken and the Karens that you said that you didn't want to be around and don't want to be a part of. I saw one of these big influencer guys. He was interviewing some guys in Panama, and it was like the weirdest thing I've seen. Not him, but the people. And he was talking about being the 1%. He was like, I'm in America, I was just a regular guy. I moved to Panama. Now I'm the 1%. And I could hear in their voice. I used to do phone sales, and they used to do phone sales. I'm talking to people on the phone a lot. So a lot of people may not see my face, but they hear my voice, and I have to actively listen. I have to actively hear. So my ear is a little more trained than the average person when it comes to inflections and different things of that nature. And I could hear him talking about being in the 1%, not in a way where it was like, wow, I wasn't even expecting that. It was like, now I'm in the 1%. I'm in the talented 10th. I was in the talented 10th. Now I'm in the talented 1. Don't call me, don't text me, don't bother me with trivial things. I am now the 1%. That was the air that the story came from. And it was like, people ask me, is it safe? Donald Trump's pissing off America, the world. People that, especially people that know me, Colombians, local people, whatever the case is, they know I don't care about none of that. If they see what it is that I do, they see me doing my best to talk to my people, black people, white people, Americans, and prepare them because they're gonna come here regardless and be in front of you. If I can reach some of them and not have this ignorance and arrogance and this newfound privilege be the reason why they go on the internet and we're gonna go viral and tell everybody that they had a bad time, so you're gonna have a bad time too. I do my best to stop those things from happening. I do my best to reach these people when it comes to safety, how to navigate these things. Medellin's safety situations are different from Cartagena. In some places, Uber is available, so you might want to be taking Ubers versus taxis. In other places, Uber is not available and taxis are the only way. One of the biggest safety things and tips that I tell people anywhere you're going, especially because you're probably not driving, you're trying to take a transportation of some sort. Biggest things, unless it's Uber, because Uber, here's the price. It's already negotiated. But you get into a taxi, a DD, whatever the local transport app is, and they don't have a set price already, you need to ask what the price is and tell them where you're going. before you get in the car. When you get into the car, all of your leveraging power is gone. Unless you just going to jump out of the car while it's moving, which is absolutely outrageous. Leveraging power is gone. So some practical safety tips outside of these. Oh shit, I didn't realize I needed this. I needed to talk. I needed to think about, why do I want to wear $5,000 worth of jewelry on my neck? No, it's not freaking safe for that. It doesn't make any sense. What's the point of me doing it now where I'm at in the United States? Why am I walking around and having my phone out like this out of a window because I'm just so excited to be here, and the weight of America is just so refreshing to have it off of me? No, it's not safe to do those things. It's not safe to invite strangers to your house. It's not safe to do dangerous things that you don't do in the United States. No, I walk around in Medellin same way I walk around in Philadelphia with my eyes open, scanners left and right. Now, I have a lower sense of guard in regards to mass incidents and police brutality and different things of that nature. Like, I'm not really worried about that. But from a general, I'm an adult, I'm 38 years old on this earth, and I need to protect myself. I'm walking around certain ways. Now, what I will tell you is I do get a lot of women that watch this. Varying factors, make sure you adhere to what I said about the what you think that is cool to put out on the internet. As far as like, no, it's not safe for you to go out with strangers that you just met at 3 a.m. in another country. I don't run the streets. I don't run the streets in the United States. I've already done 1,000 of those things. If you want to go out until 2 a.m., there are safe ways to do it, and then people do it a lot of dangerous ways where they're meeting a person at a bar that they don't know that, oh, he speaks English. Like, so do all the people that scam Americans that don't know any better. Like, don't be naive. A lot of these safety and concerns that you see in the headlines come to naivety. It comes to having that weight of America off you and feeling so free that you've forgotten all of the stuff that has gotten you to the point to be alive in America and get out of the U.S. You've thrown all of those things in the window, out the window, and said, "Well, I'm just happy to be here, so I'm willing to, go with the flow and go with the vibes." And I think that's where a lot of people get hemmed up. Ask a professional. This is not a Medellin specific safety conversation because that's a whole conversation. What to do in Medellin and what not to do. What to do in Cartagena and what not to do. Colombia has a saying, "No dar papaya," because papaya grows abundantly on the trees. You're giving out free fruit, walking around with $5,000 of jewelry on your neck. My brother and my sister. I remember going on this boat one time. I took a group on a boat, and it was a woman, group of professionals that were like lawyers and everything. Um, or it was a 50th birthday. I can't remember which group it was, but it was the funniest thing because it's Saturday, and this woman gets on a boat on a Saturday. It's a 9 to 5 runner. We're gonna be on the water all day, in the middle of the water. So what internet do you have? This wasn't no Starlink, son. And she comes to the boat. One, she was dressed like Hillary Banks. Like, if like water drop was to get on her, she was gonna like melt. But then she had a Louis Vuitton carry on and a Louis Vuitton bag, like a purse. And I was like, "Where are you going? What you doing? Why you even got that here?" And it was the funniest thing. And I realized that so many people, we have had these markers of success that are aligned with and are aligned with possessions. And we asked, can we go take these markers of success that presented me as a successful person in the United States? Can I take them abroad so I can verify my value to others? Then when they get messed up and hemmed up with me, when I say, yeah, it's not really that safe to do that. And they say, well, these are my markers. This is my value. This is what I have worked for. I don't want to go anywhere where no one can see the hard work that I had. But that lady said, remember that time the lady, she was hosting a women's retreat or a women's brunch, and she had the different plates, and she said, "You see her plate? You see my plate? Yeah, she got a low vibrational plate. You see this? I got little plates. That's how some of you guys get with the new privilege that you got. You start looking at others with these with your high vibrations, and you start looking at these things, and you start becoming more of them. becoming who it is that you look to leave, and then saying, well, I'm not having a good time. People aren't treating me nicely. Well, it's not safe for you to be this arrogant American consumer, this person that thinks that the world was waiting for them to show up. It's not safe for you to do that. Yet so many of you aren't having this conversation, aren't hearing this conversation. Not the ones that are paying attention right now, but the ones that aren't on the conversation. The ones that the algorithm won't let me reach, that will still end up in my space, in Medellin, in Cartagena, in Colombia, in another location, and honestly, potentially ruining it for you. The reason why you might go to somewhere and you might get an attitude, and it's like, oh, come, damn. As soon as they saw my whole lay, they said, sorry, I'm from Philly, not a lay. As soon as they saw my outfit, they automatically knew I was American. They could tell by the way I was dressed I was American. So they was either gonna take a bunch of money from me because they assume all I am is money. I'm not even a good person, or I come with arrogance and ignorance. That is, it's one thing. It's one thing when somebody arrogant and ignorant and they stand on it and they know it. But the worst thing is a reckless person that's arrogant and ignorant. At the same time, crying, what's going on? So I see are people, one, letting the American weight being off of them for the first time make them throw all of the things that allowed them to get to the age. I don't invite strangers to my middle of the night, going to different places where I don't speak the local language. I can't even hear if somebody is saying something. I don't speak the language. You just sit there like I did tonight and make. Who told me not to go to Mexico? Because I said, have you been a liar and a thief? Give and learn who are. Remember this, write it down. I remember the bald dude told me to stay right where I was. And it's like, even if it gets probable, but you look like a whole bunch of people. Percent of them got to be true with the hat. But when you see them, they already have the American and the privilege and guys are not real. Like, was this what is